All right. I think we're live. I believe we're live. While we wait for people to filter in, potentially, I will thank you for watching the VOD. Thanks for continuing to subscribe and click like and leave comments. All the comments are welcome, even the goofy ones, even the ones that are putting us in our place or whatever. We're pointing out how we're doing something wrong. We appreciate it. Well, in all seriousness, the ones that are giving us feedback that we may be doing something wrong, definitely appreciate it. The ones that are a bit more critical, those go too. Dig it. Try to read all of them. If they're in there, try to read all of them. Anyway, some people are starting to filter in. Hey, Synthetic, Decent Milk, Ghastly, Synexa, Thudev. Oh. My eyes are a little... You know how when you take a nap and then you get up and your eyes are kind of funky? I tried washing my face. I've got coffee, all of it. I still got nap boogers in my eyes. I took a nap earlier. It is 5:21 p.m. in Germany, and I needed a nap. You need more crystallized salt in game. Well, that may be true. And if it is true, then that shouldn't be hard to accomplish. Pitchy Stars, that was with a P. Peachy Stars said, let's go. Can't wait for October. Going to try out Shaman a little bit. Right on. Yeah, continue to try out the first run of revamps as we're getting them all in. And then we're looking at feedback. We're looking at how things relate to each other more broadly for future balance changes and stuff like that. I mean, it's the beginning of an MMO that's in early access. So invariably we will be working on stuff and changing little things here and there. Maybe some big things. I don't want to avoid the word big. We may be changing bigly as needed at some point. But I want to watch how I phrase things, because when you put them on the internet, sometimes people freak the F out and they're like, they said they're going to completely redo all the classes, and or they're going to change everything during early access. That is not the case, probably. That's probably not the case. Lucy Charmy, hello. Banlil. Hey, Liz Biscuits, how have you been? I haven't seen you much lately, and I've also been slacking on Discord. That's why I haven't seen you lately, so. Miss me some Liz Biscuits. Phantom Ghost, good evening from my end. Good morning to you, probably. Thudev said, I can't believe you're going to redo the whole game. It's true. It's probably true. One last note on some of the comments, some of the freak out type comments. If this is the first VOD you've watched and you're like, you guys are making the game wrong, or you're freaking out about something, that's cool. Thanks for watching. And if this is your first encounter with the game, or especially me, then it is kind of natural maybe for you to freak out. But if this is like the 5th video you've watched where you're like, you guys are dumb, all I can say is, maybe, but you've watched 5 videos now, so you're dumber. You're a dummy with your time. Especially if you watch the whole thing. This is going to be probably like 2 hours at least. Just 2 hours of me saying inane shit and you watching and making snarky comments. But I love you for it. My comments do not reflect the general tone, disposition, or comments of the team. I am merely one man. And a robot at that. Liz Biscuit said we need more ogre-friendly doorways. Maybe in Ogre Town. You're in Human Town, lady. Raylan, guten Tag. RNG Tillis says, hello, Sean. Loving Rothold so far. Glad. It's nice to see that the people who got in to check out, to help us test the dungeons. Good to see the positive response. Hey, Zillith. Hello, Guy Love. Liz said, I've been okay, struggling, and a dog took a chunk out. And a dog took a chunk out of Dog A took a chunk out of Dog B this week. So much time at the vets. That's no good. Was it over food? What are the hot topics today? I have no idea, man. I have no hot topics going into it. I have no expectations for the stream other than streaming so that you guys have a proof of life. Because I was gone last week. My wife and I were out of town from Thursday through Sunday afternoon. So there was no stream, and since I've only really been doing like one stream a week lately, sorry. Then when I miss a week, then people think I'm no longer here or something. Thank you, Synexa. Negative NRG, negative energy. Thank you for the follow. Flintlock Pixel. Imp Syndrome. Thank you for the follow as well. My artichokes look lovely. Thank you for noticing. I posted those pictures in the garden channel in my personal Loving Robot Discord. Dudev says, I just returned after a couple months and holy cow, you guys have been busy. Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So that's probably my biggest disclaimer. Have I played enough of the D&D cartoon to get a copyright strike at this point? Do you guys think? It's on like a random channel. Do you think they'll even notice? People that understand the internet, what are your opinions? Any opinion you give in chat will be considered binding legal advice, so don't steer us wrong. Yeah, so basically I wanted to make sure that I had a stream so you guys could say hi and see that I haven't abandoned streaming. It came out in 1983, so yes. So yes, we would get a copyright strike, or yes, it is now public domain. How long ago is it? Oh my gosh. 83 was quite a while ago. They made some good things in 83, though. Yes, she says. I haven't been keeping up with everything. I know a good amount of reworks have been done, but do you think all the reworks will be in before the end of beta test them out? I think all the reworks are likely to be in before the end of beta, but maybe not so long that you're testing them all out. But Zillith can maybe speak to that better, and then Zillith is one of the people leading the charge on that. Zillith and Jahar. And Zillith was in here, but may have ducked out already. Hey, Derelict and Cross. Loving the changes, man. Though my wallet didn't like the crafting changes, it was a good addition. Oh yeah, for the additional like recipe costs. Yeah, we're doing a lot of tracking behind the scenes on coin sinks and item sinks and all that stuff. We're just trying to get a feel for our economy before we go live, and we want to make sure that we've got the right investment, especially since crafting, there is a lot of stuff that is really decently worthwhile, and if it's got a minimal cost to come into the economy, then you gotta keep that in mind. Copyright lasts 100 years? Okay, well, then I'm talking over it. This is a React video. I'm reacting to Tiamat falling in a hole. In theory, could get one if they saw the stream, but likelihood is small. Yeah, and I don't know. They don't have secret watermarks or something. Is the AI watching? Okay. Here. Let me... We'll take this off screen then. Enough cartooning. Hey, Rondo. Hey, iTodd. Liz said, I posted a 10-second clip of the end of the last Doctor Who when Rose Tyler showed up again and got a warning even though this was like this was muted. It was all it was the clip. Yeah. Well, if we get one, then we'll have one. It's okay. I guess in theory we could cut it out, but it's okay. Zilla said, Sean related accurately the last batch of classes will be updated before EA and deep dive post readable, but might miss some playtesting. For me, that will just be Bard, as Paladin will be in the next patch. Okay, cool. And Jahar's class is one of the same situation. Phoenix, if I could legally or via per the rules, like just sit and have cartoons playing in the background, I totally would. When can you expect Shadow Knight and Ranger deep dives? Can't wait for October. I posted or I commented on the order of appearance for the last ones in my last stream, and I can't remember them offhand, but I mean, there's not much left. So, very soon. But yeah, I figured I would hop on here and answer some questions, but mostly just remind you guys that we've got a lot going on right now. So we're basically, we're 5-6 weeks out from early access. So we're doing all sorts of stuff. We're continuing to get content in the game. We're continuing to... we're working on deep zones. We're getting feedback on Fallen Watch, tweaking that. We're getting feedback on Rot Hold and fixing some bugs and tweaking that. We've got just an ongoing slew of classes going in. And if you've been following the patch notes, you'll see that we've been fixing some bugs and making some tweaks to the other classes that have been in. Excuse me. We got some handful of high-end encounters back in so that you guys can kind of see some of that in action, so that you can realize that we didn't take the raids out of the game and are never putting them back in. They're already back in, some of them. And in working on them, we have been able to find some additional features and functionality that we want in. It's great. Ollie's been working on those, and Ollie's been coding the features and the functionality and fixing the bugs. So it's kind of cool how that happens. Trains and Follow Watch make it impossible to play there. It might be impossible to play there if you're being trained. So the challenge will be finding places to not get trained. But we're aware of some issues, and like I said, Fallen Watch is being worked on. Some of that will be technical things. Some of that will be ensuring that certain escape routes are working as intended, so that you can maybe hop out of there and ditch aggro, and mobs are returning to where they're supposed to be properly in certain cases. Is there an issue? Walk out of rot hold. Several couldn't find a way back up once you got down. There are 2 exits to rot hold. Technically 3, since one had 2 directions you could go. They are not active at the moment. And so the for EA, one of them for sure will be active. The second one may not be active initially. We may have like a testing way for you to get out, and it'll be kind of hokey. The upper exit to Rothold will actually lead to Fields of the Lost, and there's a zone line at the lower in the ground level, water level of the dungeon. And that will lead you into Great Cavern Sea. So we're going to be working on Fields of the Lost even as EA is coming up. That's the one zone that we've pushed to the end of our list of shit to get done, because if we have to prioritize, we'd rather spend our effort in Great Cavern Sea, Great Cavern Sea, Eldverith, Caves of Aram, and Underdocks, and make sure that that's good. Hey, what's up, Ali? I was just talking about you. Oh, Synexus said, what's wrong with Glinting Hollow? MOTD says, do not go. Ali said, Glinting Hollow will currently sploosh you for too much damage. Today's patch will fix it. Hey, Darkside. And Darkside, thank you for the follow. Also, Dillmore. What's going on, Ash and Forge? October 1st still confirmed date, and if so, what is the percentage of that saying true? It is still the date. It's still 100% true, unless like something we have not foreseen that is catastrophic happens. We planning on having AV and such at EA launch? Yeah, it's still Eldverith is still. We were hoping to get. I've got to get with Ollie and Stab, mostly Ollie and Stab, tomorrow or Monday, basically before our next big patch, because we're looking at allowing character creation in both AV and Underdocks and letting you run through there, but with a big disclaimer that says Underdocks are in good shape. There should be quests in there and the content's in there. You'll be able to zone into Caves of Aram, but that zone line will probably change a little bit. Then you can, we got to hook it up, but then you'll be able to zone into Deep Cavern, Great Cavern Sea. That zone is very much in progress. So we're going to get a boat that takes you from Underdocks to AV, and AV back to the Underdocks. But if you hop off in Great Cavern Sea and you go exploring, you're going to be very much in a very in progress zone. So now take that how you will. When we go into early access, we were still, to be completely open with you, we were still kicking around like, do we change the name of early access to something? And honestly, without the tongue-in-cheek type names, we couldn't find something that didn't sound like we were trying to cop out or something like that. So we're just going to keep it early access. We had joked about maybe calling it, what was it again? Renaming it and rebranding it to like, Goblin had it. I forget what it was. Earliest access or something. And basically what we're going to do instead is, we talked about premature release a lot, actually. And, because it's kind of silly, but the main thing that kind of came up when we talked about it internally was it's a little too, it's not classy enough. We're a very classy team and shit. Early-ish access, that's what it was. And the main thing that we're going to do then is we're going to rework the FAQ. We're going to rework the landing page. all of that stuff, and we're just going to put in very clear comments and bullets that when people are like, isn't it just a paid beta? We're going to be like, yeah, it is. Yeah. Are we paying to test the game? Yeah, kind of a little bit. You're paying to test the game, and you're going to be paying while the game's in development, and you're going to be paying us money, real money, and it's going to be $15, which is almost a whole burrito, and I understand that's a big deal. I'm not making fun of it, but you're going to be giving us that money, and then we're going to keep working on the game, and you're going to explore parts of the game, and they're going to be in progress, or they're going to be incomplete, or they're going to have bugs, or they may have something that gets redone a little bit later, and there'll be stuff missing, and we'll take that money, and then we will, whatever amount that winds up being, we'll tell you how much money that is. So we'll tell you how much came in, and we'll tell you where we spent that money. Like, we'll tell you, hey, we spent this much on staff, and we spent this much on server costs, and all the shit we've been doing. If you're new to this stream or this game or whatever, you can go to our website. You can see on our website, you can get to where we break down our expenses so far. And yeah, we're gonna take your money while you are on the journey with us to finishing the game. And that's what it is. And so for the people that are like, early access should just be basically a finished game, that's like needs some tweaking, I think that's a very fair assessment. And for people that would prefer to be in an early access environment of that sort, it's understandable, and I wish them the best. But if you come into our environment, it will be what it be. And there will be no apologies. I apologize for nothing. If anything, we even, let me find it. Let me find this dang thing. Where is it? I tell you what, I'll just in case there's something on here that you're not supposed to see. Just in case there's a secret, I'm going to black out my screen. Okay, that'll make it easier and less awkward for me to go through my various open tabs. Not that there was anything... Oh, there it is. Super incriminating that you could see. Honest. So we're going to update the FAQs and other stuff, but I think I can show this without any... Okay. So we have a thing that's going in. When you go to give us money, this is my very professional mock-up as an internet professional. I had made this mock-up and added it on here. So when you go to give us money, you'll see it'll say, hey, early access notice, game is incomplete, may change during beta access, including content systems, balance, progression, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to click this in order to give us money. And then you have to click this in order to give us money. And it says, I understand Monsters and Memories is in early access and is incomplete. Content systems, balance, progression, availability, and character or account data may change. And then when you click this is going to pop up on top of it. And it's going to say the wording may change. Because I just wrote this up really quickly. So the wording may change as people on the team see it and they're like, let's rephrase that. But it says, again, just to make sure we're clear, Monsters and Memories is still in development. You will encounter incomplete content, work that's in progress, bugs, and tuning issues. We'd love to have you playing, but we've built this game on transparency and paid for the development out of pocket. Early access is us continuing to make the game while finally taking in money to start paying the team if possible. M&M is a passion project. If this sounds worth $15, please proceed. If not, please consider taking another look later in development. There you go. Like you're gonna you're gonna read a thing, you're gonna read it again. Pop-up blockers will stop it. Oh wait, hey, that's a good thing. We should check and make sure that's not the case. So, and then you click it, and then you can finally give us money, but you can't give us multiple months worth of money yet. You can only give us 1 month worth of money. You can't buy a 3-month subscription and then be like, I paid 3 months worth, and now I don't like the game, and I feel like I'm out $45 or whatever. I get it, but it's kind of annoying. Hey, if this is too annoying for you, then don't click it, because the shit's only going to get more annoying when you get in game. Like if you can't handle us at our 2 pop-ups, you can't handle us at our lack of first-time user experience and everything else. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm just being super honest with you. You only have to do it once. You only have to click 2 things once. Well, 3 things if you count the other thing that's above the 1 thing. So it's 3 clicks and you're in, though there's probably some other things. So it is a bit of friction. You like the game? Glorious, sir? Well, that is awesome to hear. I think it sets the tone for people that are unfamiliar with us. And I think people that are familiar with us at this stage and still willing to give us $15, I think they'll understand. And I assume you're one of them. Like I said, I'm not picking on you. The OK button should say crystal, so that it's crystal clear, Zilith. What if I'd like to give you more than $15? So we've talked about that. There may be a way to do that. There may be a way. We've talked about it, but we don't know if. So you can buy merch for sure. We've talked about a tip jar. Here's the problem with the tip jar. There'll be a lot of merch, but here's the problem with the tip jar. In order to keep nefarious actors from tipping us like $1 and then canceling it, like triggering a bunch of chargebacks that cost us like whatever amount to deal with and then costing us money, we have to put a minimum tip amount. And so then it winds up being like a minimum $10 tip, maximum whatever. And on one hand, it's kind of a neat idea, but I think people will. I don't know. That one we've been really good about not being greedy, and so I don't know. Maybe it's just best. Maybe it's just best to let you just buy a shitload of merch if because merch is merch, right? Yeah, or buy multiple accounts. Just don't box or anything. Donating subscriptions, we've discussed it and we've looked at it. There may be a way to do it, but are we touching the tip topic? That's an awkward sentence. I almost want to say pause. Naturally, Atomic Frog, our accountant, pops in when I mention tips. Barathos, whatever works for you. We're not judging. Darth Cubano. First of all, your name. You guys don't understand how infatuated I am with cigars at the moment. So as soon as I read Darth Cubano, I was like, is that a new AJ Fuentes? Or no, is it AJ Fernandez? No, is it AJ Fuentes? Is that from Perdomo? I'm infatuated with cigars. It's the weirdest thing. I didn't see it coming. Um, so Darth Cabano, thank you for the follow and for making me think about cigars during the stream. Sleepy Tech Priest, thanks for the follow as well. Hey, Gulo Gulo. So with regards to subscription donations, the hard thing that we have is if we just allowed you to give us money and we put it into a donation pool, then figuring out how to distribute. Padron is your favorite. Oh, I'm so glad you're continuing the cigar conversation. Cigars at chess games in the inn, guys. I have a dream. In the future. I have a thing that I want to do, and it involves cigars in the future. Got too much on my plate at the moment, but in the future I have a thing. And if there are cigar lovers out there within this audience, I want to know who you are. Maybe I should set up a cigar channel in my private Discord. Algorithm07 Penguin, thanks for the follows. Cigar Lounge in AV. I like pipes as well. That's how I found cigars. Romeo and Julieta, White Churchills. I've only tried the small one. It wasn't my favorite. Atomic Frost said my father, Flora de los Antilles, is my favorite. Dude, all of you. All right. The petite, yeah. Are there, how many people? I shouldn't be doing this right now. I gotta stay on topic. What topic was I on? Oh yeah, I'm coming back to this topic though. I'm so excited. Did we just become best friends? Damn it, what was the topic? It was tips. It was then subscription donations. If we take donations, for subscriptions and distribution of the subscriptions is a pain in the ass. And like, is it going to be fair? You guys you're not even amped about the lottery, right? For early access beta. So that's not going to work. If we have it kind of be a thing that you can do, then we've got to watch for like RMT, but we're thinking that if we allow you to like basically pay for someone's, we're thinking through and we think we can get it. Figured out, so it may be there. Okay, so I love pipes. I think I've mentioned before I have like pipe jars, like tobacco jars on my desk and stuff, and pipes. But I just recently, couple months ago now, tried cigars, and I'm infatuated with everything about them. And yeah, so I'm in all seriousness, the folks that are throwing up cigar references, we will not sell M&M branded cigars on the merch store. Anything I'm saying cigar related is not M&M related. But I am very interested in cigars, and I have a dream. I have a future dream. How many people in here right now enjoy cigars? Interesting. Hey, Talon. Well, they're not. It's the smoke's not supposed to go into your lungs. Only sort of mouth throat area. You got to watch that. All right. So there's at least a little bit. That's actually more interest than I would have thought. So cool. Okay, and then we'll leave it at that. I don't know if any of you are, in my A Loving Robot Discord. But if you are, then I don't know, maybe we start a cigar lounge in their channel and talk. The images I have my own Discord. I had my Discord just before we started, like the project and stuff. So it's just kind of sat there. I post garden pictures and stuff every once in a while. I'm pretty bad about staying on top of things like that. Uh, like I said, Sean, thank you so much for this amazing game. New dungeons are incredible. Thank you for being here, especially since it's still early. Somebody was saying earlier, you guys were saying earlier when we were back on a M&M topic, the October 1st date and classic WoW plus or whatever. You gotta understand stuff like other games coming out during a certain period, especially these early months. For right or wrong, we just kind of we feel like, honestly, the more low key October goes, the better. Probably, it's fantastic that I think like close to 38,000 of you are in Discord, and then there's another. I haven't checked it recently, but I don't know, something 15, 20,000 people in the mailing list. And that's not a perfect sort of circle in terms of Venn diagram. So there are people that are aware of us, and you know, it'll be absolutely cool if people are there day one. But we're a small team. This is a small project, and going live with an MMO is hard no matter what. So for us, if we were to have a pretty quiet launch week, relatively quiet launch week, and not just like smash the servers and have everybody on top of each other or whatever, it's actually better than not. So if stuff pops up in October that pulls attention away from us, that's not a bad thing. Then hopefully the people that are enjoying themselves. They're telling their friends, they're like, hey, it's finally in early access. We're actually having a good time. They've made some changes here and there that we like. They've added some more stuff. Now you can get into the deep, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah. Will price of rusty weapons increase before EA? Feels a bit bad that you can buy a weapon better than anything in Worm's Bane for like 10 silver. Yeah, we've got a pricing pass that needs to happen. Want a slow burn like cigar? Yeah. Dude, don't get me back on the topic. Fernandez. Yes. I messed it up. I messed the AJF up earlier. Seems like Saturday's my new usual day. It's a great pickup day for me, just because I have a bit more flexibility. One of the reasons for that is my wife and I on Fridays over the last like month or so, we started taking Fridays. She gets off work at around noon, and we meet up on our bikes. We head downtown. Like I'll go to her work, go to her clinic. We just ride downtown really quick. We'd find a place to eat, because we don't eat out very much. Like as a family, we're not really people that eat out. Tend to cook pretty much all of our meals. And so we would go find some place we haven't eaten before. We'd grab lunch. We'd hang out. We'd chat, relax. A lot of the time, we'd swing by the cigar store, buy a cigar or whatever. Maybe sit and smoke one with the guy or guys there. The owner's really cool. And then we'd, go do whatever. Like if we need to buy something, we'd go home and chill. And so that wound up like kicking off our Fridays pretty well. Some good us time. As the project's getting closer to being, kind of in crazy state, I found that I was getting very fixated on time. Probably about 6-7 weeks ago, it was just like, oh man, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Something come up and I'm just like, no, launch is coming. Can't do, and the reality is like, that's not a good loop to get into because we're going to launch. Then October is going to be batshit crazy. November is probably going to be crazy unless something catastrophic happens. And like 99.9% of the people quit playing in October. December, you got the holidays, the game's going to be going. During all 3 of those months, not only are we going to be working on just dealing with the fallout from people being in and CS issues and bugs that pop up, because anytime, once we're rolling like that, we're going to have a whole new slew of bugs that we're going to prioritize because people will be, they're going to have a different expectation. We've got all that going on. We've got some content that we still want to finish that we wanted to have done for EA that's going to be going on. And then we're going to be working on Module 2 stuff. So there's going to be a ton going on because we don't want stuff like the Module 2 work to go on forever into next year. So we've got a lot of things to do. So we're going to be busy, but that's going to be the new normal going forward. And so, might as well just develop the good habits now in terms of making sure that spending time with the fam and not stressing. So, yeah, sounds like a lovely Friday afternoon. They're really good. And then the other thing, not to just keep hammering on cigars, but it's actually been fun because for those of you that don't know, typically if you're smoking a cigar, because you don't smoke it fast, it'll take about an hour. It can take about an hour. And so what we've been doing while the weather is good is that when my wife gets off work, pretty much every day, we'll go up to the balcony. I'll take a cigar. We don't drink alcohol, so we make we take a tonic, like a Mediterranean tonic water or whatever, and we put like a little espresso concentrate in it. It makes an interesting flavor. And we'll have our little drinks. We'll go sit on the balcony. No cell phones, unless we need to look something specific up, but even that we try to avoid. We just sit there and we talk about our days. She's got an interesting job, so there's typically something worth talking about. It's like she deals with, she's an oral surgeon, dental surgeon, and so there's interesting, like patients and stuff or something going on at work, and I talk about what's been going on so far that day with the team, and because she's, has a strong interest in the project. She's been following us and supporting us for the entirety of the project. And so we chat, we take that hour, finish our drinks, and then roll back in and hop in here and keep working. Or depending on the night, maybe make dinner really fast. And then, that's that. So I mention these things because those of you that aren't familiar with the stream, the intent of the stream isn't just like M&M marketing time. I mean, it is, but it's it's just the stream originated. Even before there was a project, it was like talking about game development. And one of the things that I think is important if you're interested in game development, and I think just talk about life, if it's taking the time to actually focus on what's important And no matter how important this project is, and trust me, we've been donating our time and our money to this project for 6 years. We take it extremely seriously, but I'm I've been doing this for 20 some years, 25 years. I'm getting, I'm in my 50s now, and priorities are family first. So I'll scroll up and see what we said. Life is incredibly short. Nothing is more important than enjoying it 100%. And congrats, John, on your ginormous milestone. That was awesome to see. I won't share any more than that because I don't know how private you are, but inspirational. Let me scroll up. Self-care is important. My therapist is making me focus on it. I tend to work 12 hours a day every day. Even my time I code side projects, and she considers that working still. I think that's fair, Strunk Dad. And it really is worth it. If that's just ultimately the way you decompress, then cool. But, it's worth keeping an eye on whether or not that's really allowing you to decompress. I like there's something about the, sitting there and chatting and smoking a cigar and focusing on it and stuff. It's a nice ritual. I get there probably be people out there that's like, hey, tobacco, no, blah, blah, blah. I'm not encouraging anybody to consume tobacco, but I think for the most part, you're all adults. So I'm telling you what I like. Cashew? Okay. I probably said that wrong. Thank you for the follow. Corinthia said, happy to hear you're managing your stress. It can creep up easily and get out of hand. Yeah. And the other thing is just the team is awesome. Have awesome partners, awesome team, and we just know that no matter what happens, we want to keep grinding. So why stress out too much? If something goes wrong, if shit breaks, if we have too many people on the servers initially and stuff's getting wacky, whatever happens, if we have, the GTA 6 hackers steal our code and release it, whatever happens, we're not going to die. We will continue to grind through it. We'll get it fixed. We'll continue to make our game. Certain, thank you. Don't remember if you said it or not. Is there a planned cadence for modules, or is it just based on size of content when it comes out? It comes out. We've estimated, we've done different projections based off kind of set size calculations, X number of zones. As we're working in the next few months, we're going to see how that actually shakes out. And we'll probably develop a more strict cadence. But I think there needs to be some wiggle room for this module's only 3 new zones plus this expedition over here, blah, blah, blah. Versus, hey, this new region's kind of needs a little bit bigger thing, so it's 5 modules or 5 zones, 6 zones, takes longer. So, yeah. Great to hear you can separate out a bit and have a solid routine with IRL people. Would you be able to talk a little bit about the tuning pass that gets mentioned a lot? We hear it in relation to gear and stats on gear, and also on damage that each class and class's abilities do. What is the process the team has planned for those things, and what can we expect for that as we look towards choosing a class in EA? Panda Physique said. Ollie responded down here and says, it's a step-by-step iterative process. Right now, the first step is doing a broad pass where we kind of put the bones in for every class. not much effort has been done yet in balancing a class against each other or enemies that comes next. In the meantime, we're establishing what general power we should have on characters. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting because there has been a bit of we've done a little bit of like, all right, so here's where they're currently at. Here's where we think all the classes need to be at in the future. Here's what's going on with the NPCs. How do we find a nice starting point, knowing it's going to need to be tweaked again, that stays true to where we're heading without, potentially causing like an unnecessary sort of freak out or whatever, or have one class feel just too horrible relative to the others. But the reality is that, like Ali said, it's we get the big pieces in, the big changes in. Okay, you've seen it, and then everything will just kind of. It's an MMO, so there'll be constant adjustments and tweaks, and maybe we find that certain things really just aren't playing out the way we thought, or people are playing differently than we thought, generally speaking, and so that requires us to look at something again. Ali said we are hoping to get the first pass in all classes before EA. It's going to take into EA and probably over the next 20 years if we last that long to get everything balanced. Yes. Siranen said, I love Eminem, but I think I could watch Sean talk about anything and feel engaged. I appreciate all positive feedback and head pats. My wife will tell you all head pats are welcome. I thank you for it. Well, just keep that in mind. Maybe one day. Nah, we'll be talking about Eminem forever, hopefully. Forsworn, thank you for the follow. Any plans to announce server variants prior to EA? I need to get with Ali and the guys soon. Like, I don't know, tomorrow. But I need to follow up on one of our discussions in Slack on pre-register, basically the launch server approach, the pre-registration, the name reservation, the number of servers, where we're thinking we're going to be at, the number of people that there's stuff that we still need to finish. And it's at the point where I say that and people are like, yeah, you don't have much time. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's, sometimes it's at this point it's a little quieter from my end. I'm not in Discord as much at the moment, goofing around or whatever. Thanks, Moose with a big rack. Fortissimo, what's going on? Hopping in briefly while I'm on my lunch break to say that Fallen Watch is incredible and you guys have done an excellent job in there. Seeing how some of our initial findings and puzzle solutions impact the experience inside the dungeon is very cool, and everyone involved deserves a big pat on the back. I've never had a dungeon be fun to wipe in until now. Her PvP is the spearhead of progression right now. Are you guys monitoring progression for tuning or entertainment purposes? Progression specifically in relation to Fallen Watch testing, or? Derelict said both. There you go. And in terms of the positive feedback on the Fallen Watch testing, the I'm not doxing what I said. The two Steves have mainly been the ones on that. So CAD and Akiris have really been working hard in there. And a lot of on the design side. Don't think I'm doing anybody a disservice by saying that's pretty much all Akiris's work. But other people, especially now, Derelict and other folks are definitely highly engaged and helping with feedback, and there's been testing and stuff. But in terms of implementation and design, Akiris got on the team. and we put him in Fallen Watch, and he's been working on it since he got in, and is really trying to push things in there in a way where we can kind of see, as you encounter some of that discoverable stuff and puzzles and interesting things where you're like, oh wait, that does this and it makes this feel a little different to fight or whatever. That's for him. It's been a good proving ground to kind of show the team and hopefully the community the stuff that we can do as we go forward. And so for those of you that don't know, Akiris is one of the guys that we worked with back on EQ, and he's my buddy that did an interview with him. If you've seen the old EQ interviews, his name's Steve Burke. He did the 10th Ring War and the Coldane stuff and Hollow More, and was really at the time he was on the content side, the guy that I was often like brainstorming with, like how do we do different ring events and like hack them into EQ even though the tools didn't really allow for it, or how do we make stuff feel a bit more dynamic and discoverable. So he was the guy that I sort of went from customer service. We were both in customer service, and we both got onto the EQ team around Luckland time, and had a lot of fun working with each other and kept up ever since. And so it's good to work with him again. And Akiris and Jahar, during Luckland, we were kind of a little, I don't know, group of dudes that were often just talking about how to push the game and do different things and stuff. And so it's nice to be able to work with guys that I worked with back during that era again, and they're doing fantastic work. So yeah. And so one of the things that I meant to sort of hit on there is, I think now that we've got the Dragon Gadouge back in, we've got the Bone Construct back in at a new level and in a new way, and we've got Pustilax back in, and people are we're doing some testing on that now, and we're getting a good response. People are enjoying the fights. We're finding some bugs, and then we've got Fallen Watch. Hopefully that starts to help a few people with picturing what we can potentially do with the in-game content, just in terms of gameplay, not necessarily, we haven't, I don't think those encounters specifically, they have tastes of it, but we haven't shown all the stuff that we want to do with regards to impact on the world and rewards and things like that. But hopefully it's continuing to show you guys our capability, if that makes sense. Bone Construct is not capped with the Banish anymore. It is now a high-end encounter. SK is changing a bit. No idea on Ranger, but SK was changing so much I had to do a stream calling folks down. It was blown out of proportion, honestly. Yeah, I didn't... It's not because it is changing. It's because people made some assumptions based on some of the wording that we had. So they freaked out a little bit more than hopefully they'll find that is necessary. But we'll see. Who would win in a fight, me or Lord Inquisitor Seru? Seru for sure. Hallo, schön dich zu sehen, a loving robot. Hallo, wie geht's? Hoffentlich deine Freitagen, Samstag war schön. Hopefully you have been chillaxing for your Wochenende. Ein schöner Feiertag. Bin noch in der Arbeit. Warum? Es ist doch Samstag. Was machst du für Arbeit? Ready Oz, thank you for the follow. Are we going to be able to pay for subs prior to October 1? Sorry if you already answered this. We were just talking about it. I'm spacing. Let's just say no for now. If there is like a opportunity to fire it off beforehand so we can test that or whatever, we'll make it known. Ollie's like, do you read anything? Do you read anything we post in Slack? Yes. Honest. For those of you who don't know, so we've got Rothold that is in testing. That's a mid-high level dungeon. We have Fallen Watch, which is the green castle on the hill, which is in testing. And then we've got Chinny is working on a new dungeon, low-end deep elf dungeon, working away. And last we spoke, I mentioned that it's totally okay for him to show that work on stream, so keep an eye on his streams. Basically, anybody that's streaming right now, you should, if you're interested in the game, please go give them support and check out what they're doing. You're going to see stuff. We've got so much going on right now. It is just that part of the process where shit just is coming together fast. Oh, I know why I mentioned the 3 high-end encounters. I just wanted to give Ollie more credit. He's done a really great job on those, and we're getting really awesome feedback from folks that have been able to test them, and so hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. And then the work that you're seeing with the high-end content, Fallen Watch, the various encounters, you'll see more of that trickle down into just daily life in the game. One of the things that we've talked about a lot since Akiris has been on the team is just like, how do we sneak that in all over the place? How do we sneak in discoverable stuff? How do we sneak in like something that feels a bit more dynamic event-wise? Little complexities here and there at different camps, different dungeons. So you may see some of that bleed back in to existing dungeons even, right? So Yorhini said, I have now shift handover work in the hospital. See you later. Hey, hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Hope you're not working all weekend. Wicca said, Pushnack's fight is amazing. That was the intent originally. That was the intent. So when we said we were taking the stuff out because it wasn't hitting the mark that we had originally envisioned, and we just hadn't implemented it in the way that we thought, or it just wasn't doing what the original intent was. Basically the response in Discord or Reddit or different comments or whatever is like, high-end players were being poo-poo heads, so they took the raids out, and that's the only reason. That's not the only reason. We were looking at them and we're like, there's conflict. There's bound to be conflict. Some of that conflict's unnecessary because of the implementation, and then some of, and if we're already kind of, I can't think of a non-crass way to say this. Oh my gosh, I need a better. What is a polite way to say if we're already eating the shit? If we're already catching heck for what's in there, we want what's in there to be reflective of what we wanted to be in there. So, yeah. So, and that's kind of theme. My dear friend Justin Beard, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I got your DMs. I meant to respond. It's just I've been stretched thin. I saw the images. I glanced. I just didn't have a chance to respond, dude. It looked like you had a good time. So sorry about that, Justin Beard. Can we expect Faith Devotion to be more functional with EA, or is it something that won't get explicitly announced? It will be in as like the basis. The basic framework will be in. The progression for it will be in. Pilgrim's been working on that stuff. The boons and things like that, and some of the equipment that you can find in the full progression will be something that we're working on during EA. Excuse me. Wickaslaw said the old fights are nothing, all caps, compared to what they are now. Yeah. And so keep in mind when you're playing Fallen Watch, one thing when you get in there with Fallen Watch to keep in mind as well is it's a big dungeon. Currently, a third of it is accessible, and it may be that we actually do put firm zone lines for the second third, because it kind of has a different role. It's a different purpose, a bit more dramatic. And then the third is it's got a very specific purpose, and it I think can very well just be its own zone. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we've got a couple zones that you haven't seen yet. You've seen some stills from them in various updates, but they were meant to be our first expedition zones. And so what we've been doing is like, hey, let's get Fallen Watch in, take a look at it, see how people are feeling about it, look at the approach. And if that's going smooth and we can get Akira's cycled from essentially, tuning and fixing and firefighting on current Fallen Watch stuff, we'll have him looking at the second and third areas for Fallen Watch, and then we'll also be looking at the expedition zones. And then that's on top of working with the team and Ollie specifically on getting all of the existing encounters in, and then as we've got a nice rhythm and we've got better sort of like a better approach and better rules and better tweaks to tools and functionality, then we're going to pick up a bit of steam on not just getting all of the existing encounters back in, high-end encounters back in good shape, but then also starting to hit some more, maybe even putting a few that you haven't seen into some existing zones. And definitely we've got a whole deep now to run through, right? So those of you that have been asking about beta access, yeah, we're still doing the Fridays. Haven't discussed with Ollie whether or not we're going to do any open play tests before now and EA. I don't know if he's still out there, if he's still listening. I was going to bring up, I don't know if we maybe have any stress test needs or anything like that. But we'll see either way. If you're interested in potentially getting in over the next couple of weeks, go to the account page, Community Hub. There's an account in the upper right, register, opt in, and you should be good. Darth Cabano, are you saying gimme because you want to get into beta? Will any merch be available come EA? Yeah, the merch store will be going online for EA 100%. Are these Druid journal pages functional? Fully in game. Been exploring, trying to figure out what they do. Just curious if you're wasting your time. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to get with the guys and see, or if they're just sort of part of. We've been seeding some research stuff, so that may be it. But yeah, merch store is high on our list of things to make cool as heck. Cool AH. Darth Cabano, are you on our Discord? Darth Cabano, since you since you have the favorite name that I've seen this stream so far and made me talk about cigars, shoot me a DM. I won't be able to get to it until after the stream, but I'll get you hooked up. Ready Oz, thank you for the follow. Let's see. Spooey said all the recent changes or updates have been really exciting. Super stoked for October. I hope everything is going well for you, Sean. Dude, things are going fantastic for me. Life is good. The behind the scenes life is amazing, and the project is just going great. One of the things that's been fantastic, so I was away, it was just something we haven't had very many, we haven't taken our usual vacation opportunities this year because there's been a lot going on, but one of the things that we commit to each year has been going to the festival and sort of meeting our friends that we only see once a year during the festival, and it's kind of a rotating cast of characters depending on who can align their time off. And so we've got some folks that we really like that we get to see. It's a metal festival. We usually go to one of 2 metal festivals here. And it's just nice, man. You set up your camp, everybody's there, and you hang out. We don't drink, so we're just having having our coffees and our little tonic espresso drinks. I smoked the shit out of cigars, dude. It's just like cigars all day. It was beautiful. I brought a bunch for everybody, and nobody else smoked cigars, so that's rad. That was totally not my plan. So just restock the humidor. But the internet there sucks. There's zero internet there. We wake up early. Everybody else has been partying too hard, so we wake up, and so we can get a little bit of internet time, run to the showers before everybody wakes up. So it was just kind of I'm offline, and I come back, and it's just we've got such great leadership on the team. Ollie's getting a ton of shit done, and Zilith and Jahar doing the class stuff, and like Stabs working to get a bunch of stuff in. Everybody was just basically going, and it's great to have a situation where the team is just handling their business, right? So it just reaffirms I'm just a front man. So I was gone, they were taking care of shit. I came back, I was like, oh, maybe I should go. Maybe we should go. Want to go camping again? I have some leftover cigars. Let's see. There is recipe prices have increased with the patch. Will they remain like that for EA? I actually like the higher prices myself. And then somebody above that asked about the about trade skills as well. I was trying to find it. Essentially, one of the things that we're looking at for trade skills is ensuring that they've got enough, that there is enough of a cash sink involved in them, and that there is a bit of a barrier to progression based on your people who are serious about trade skills. If it's balanced properly, should be able to progress in trade skills, but they should be able to progress in trade skills based on the fact that they are serious and that's a focus for them, and it's not just a given that everybody can like easily progress through. And then we've got a bunch of oversupply in certain areas, and it makes everybody's goods less valuable, and it's easy for everybody to progress, etc. Trade skills are going to be an area that I hate to say it in kind of a nebulous way or wishy-washy, can't tell you concretely what's going to happen, but trade skills are definitely a thing that as we get into EA, we will be looking at doing some revamps and really auditing certain things and trying to make sure that they feel good, they make sense. Like Umpak said, one concern I saw was that you don't know which recipes will skill up at your current level. If that's the case, then that's something we've got to make sure is clarified or feels good or makes sense. Is Rammstein still touring? They are, but they weren't there. Wound up seeing Lamb of God and a number of other bands, though. Yeah. The Swedes represented pretty heavily, as Sweden tends to, at the festival. So Orbit Culture was really good. If you haven't heard Orbit Culture, they're great. Surprising. They're kind of a silly band, but my wife wound up liking Avatar. They put on a really good stage show in the rain. Next year's festival is going to be great, though. Looking forward to seeing. Hopefully that'll be the one that we go to. I'm looking forward to seeing Malevolence. The higher prices are objectively insane and do not scale at all with their tier, Pinamu said. All right, well, like I said, we'll have to look at it. Frontman for the old school MMOs, former EQ dev with tattoos, smokes cigars, and plays paintball. I don't play paintball, but all of these weapon cases stacked up over there are airsoft. That way I could introduce my wife early on to all of our airsoft is gas blowback, so that it's got full manual of arms. So she knows how to. That way she's now familiar with how to break down ARs cleanly and quickly. Oh, and now she's a competitive pistol shooter here, which is cool. Real one, not airsoft. It costs 112 gold to rebuy every smithing recipe from at the absolute high end, right? Like, so if you're redoing it now, are you saying, Pinamu, that it's an insane amount to rebuy in testing, but if you're progressing normally, that's something different? Is it mainly just the fact that we added it all in and then you didn't have the cash to test it? Because I think I missed that part. But I could definitely see that complaint if that's what was going on. And I'll wait for the lag. I'll wait for it to say, "Hey, Leatherface, thank you for the raid." You would not be able to afford it normally during progression. All right. Like I said, we're going to be looking at price tuning and basically cost tuning and stuff. As we're continuing to roll into EA. Could be you're right. It could be that my opinion is really just that trade skills feel meaningless for gearing yourself when playing now. And do you think that's primarily because it's pinched in the middle of the availability of better items once you're out and about, and then the fact that you can buy cheap stuff off the vendor that's better is making it so that they're less viable at the low end, or cash out? I think the money sink is definitely a good idea, and appreciate the trade that trade skills need to be an investment. I do think the lower level ones may be too expensive and would disincentivize crafting. High level ones are fine and could be increased as you level higher and you have a greater capacity farm or sell gold. Cool. I wonder if, yeah, well, we've got other things that are going in as well that are going to play a factor here. I don't know that it would be as big a factor to this as, so I'm kind of hesitant to say it, but there's things like work orders as well that are going in. So yeah, like I said a few minutes ago, crafting. The folks that are working on class stuff on the system side will, as we're getting that stabilized, roll over and help Rift with crafting as well. So there'll be changes as we go, both before EA and then once we're in EA. Rusty Steel is better than anything from 1 through 25, and you can afford it at level 6. Then it's priced improperly. Dual crafting was actually important with dual stats. Now it's kind of pointless. All right, we'll take a look. Will player vendors installs be available for EA? You can already rent a stall, but if you're asking about the ability to like hire an NPC for that, that will not be in before EA. I don't think. PLD3, thank you for the follow. Station Wagon TG said, damn, this game still isn't out. Nope. October 1st, buddy. How you doing? Corinthia said, it's the availability of cheaper stuff at the vendor. I think more scaling from low level to high. Reb. Thanks, Darth Cubano. Rebix said, do you need a closed beta key to play right now, or can anyone hop in? You need to have a, you got to register account, opt in, be sure to fill out the description, link your Discord name in there, and then you can potentially get in via the lottery. So similar to the other stuff, like you're seeing the changes to the high-end encounters. You're seeing revamps on the classes. Trade skills are something that we want them to be as well integrated as possible into the game, the adventuring experience. We've got big cities because we actually want trade skills to matter. We want their trade skill progression to be a factor in these various shops and housing environments that we're putting in, right? Like if you look at just housing here in the harbor side. So everything that you're seeing with a green or the blue doors, right? A green volume, blue doors. That's all housing or property that you can rent. And so it may sound like I'm kind of half-ass hand waving when I'm talking about trade skills and, well, yeah, we're going to look at it or whatever. I'm trying to be a bit understated, but really we want this to feel a bit more like a UO than just an EQ when it comes to like something like trade skills. We want there to be a reason for you to own a forge or to set up a sewing shop or to specialize in one trade skill or another, and buy specific furniture that assists in that, or crafting stations that assist in that. We want that to be an investment, right? So the thing is, with our team size, with our capacity, etc., we've had to prioritize and apply our people to, specific focuses. And for us, on the system side, we our first priority has been classes in combat and just the core loop of, combat and adventuring. So that's where we've been focused. I don't think you're going to see a full table flip on something like trade skills during EA, but you will see some, I think, relatively significant changes with regards to things that you can do via progression over time during EA. There will be trade skill revamps, and we'll try not to invalidate your work to date or your cash investment or anything like that. It's a tricky balance, but we'll definitely be investing in it, and it's going to be a tough one, because what will wind up happening is, given the current approach, we'll see that people will be able to skill up in a certain manner, and that may not be consistent with how you can skill up later on in terms of cost or difficulty or whatever, but that's fine. And then we'll do everything we can to be able to make it feel like it makes the world seem more real, right? It's one of the big things that trade skills can do, is like really reaffirm the sense of place. So that's the hope. We'll see. Does that make sense, or was that just me babbling for 10 minutes for no reason? Rubikai said, really loving the beta. It's incredible how good it looks with the low poly. Also love the quest and the mud integration. Do the quests go all the way to in-game? There are quests and quest content all the way to in-game. There are some things that are being added that put more significant quests at later levels that you haven't seen yet. There's some faction progression quest work going on. We've taken out the Wormsbane armor quests out of Wormsbane because the Wormsbane are a faction. They've got a whole history. There's a whole thing there. And one of our guys has been pitching and writing a series of quests for the Wormsbane armor that will make them more of a mid to high, so like 30s, level 30s quest series for you to go out and hit different camps and different rares and stuff to be able to assemble a set of gear that sends you around the region a bit more. So that's being worked on. Will new servers launch on the lead up to 1.0 for those that want a start on a fresh server? Yeah, I mean, assuming we have the players to warrant it. What's my favorite class? Dude, it's super hard. This is a good question in terms of like I think I've got to at least pick 3 to focus on once it's like my forever characters. The 3 that I'm for sure 4 that I'm for sure gonna roll. Maybe 5. Okay. Necro, Cleric, Inquisitor. I'd never really played a Druid before, and I made a little Goblin Druid. It was my first Goblin character as well. A couple months ago. And I made a Goblin Druid, and I really had fun. So at least those 4. I ran out of fingers. At least those 4. But I've enjoyed. I don't like pure DP, like just a DPS class. I'm kind of like not that. I think rogues are cool, especially as we get more stuff in for them, like to discover and unlock and disarm and all that stuff. I think they can be really cool. Hard to count in base 9.5, huh? Yeah. My counting game is ruined. Can I put a house on a player-owned boat? Eventually. Wickersloth said, I don't know how I'm going to fit a shipwright setup in these tiny houses. It's a fair point. We may have to make adjustments for that later. I have 2 houses that I want to put like quest unlocks for. I just need to get those in. Spellblade. You wanted to play a Spellblade in MMO? Pretty excited to finally be one. Yeah, it's I mean, of the DPS classes, it's an interesting one. I've like tested it when the changes were first made, and he's fun to bounce around with. What's my 50-50 option? What do you mean, Zach? Wolfsta said, "Hey, Robot, finally in the closed beta. I'm already hooked. You guys are doing great work. Keep it up." Thank you very much. I'm glad you got in. I'm glad that's your impression. I read a YouTube comment that was great. So I read a YouTube comment. For those of you on the YouTube that are commenting, I do read your comments. Those of you that are leaving snarky comments, I do respond with snarky comments, as you've probably seen. Those of you that are going to comment about me talking about cigars the whole time instead of the game, I can already hear it. I will be snarky. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's see. Let me find. All right. Let me go here. We get these comments every once in a while, and it gives me so much hope for the children's, the future. The children's of the future. Unclick the unresponded filter. Maybe newest. Apply. But here's a good one. Patrick Heinonen 7645. I just found this one. Brand new, 28 minutes ago. Game looks and feels like shit. Animations are horrible. This game is going to die in 3 months. GGS. Smile. Love it. I love that. The awesome thing is, the reason why I read these out is because it's such a minority of comments. I am absolutely shocked. You guys, haters, it's just been such a weak showing. It's just been so weak. Like the shit talkers have just been so weak in the game. If you're listening to this VOD right now and you're a shit talker, I just want you to know that your game is so weak. Like we get basically 1 to 3 out of, I don't know, like 50 to 100 comments will be something like this. And it's just such weak stuff that I'm like, I usually like, LOL, thanks for the comment. You know, like, because every comment helps. It really does help the algorithm. So please. They weren't raised in the fires of the forums of 2000. They did not have Führer and Tiggle blasting on their front pages. It's just we need a better grade at, like, what is there a quote? Isn't there a Batman quote about needing we need a better classic criminal, better grade of villain? Yeah, I mean, some of the comments, I'm like, you obviously did not sit around and like talk shit in high school, did you? It's weak. Patrick Heinonen, your comment is just weak. It's just you dishonor a long legacy of shit talkers. A stream dedicated to haters might be fun. Some of these guys, like, I'm actually super down to have a discussion with on video. I'd have a discussion with them. Tellin said, LOL, that's not even constructive. I can't tell if you're being silly or if you're really just that innocent. You throw me sometimes. Watch this video winds up just getting a deluge. I can't wait. There's so many just positive comments, right? So it's just this one. It's that one comment, and then it's just like, next comment. I have so many good games to play, but I will gladly spend my time on this game. I love the old classic games. It's right up my alley, but this is exactly what the industry needs. Keep up the good work. Can't wait for this game. Very excited to try this out. Somebody's asking if they want to be able to hold something in their hand while playing a Bard Fair. Just lots of positive comments. I'm trying to find the one. The thing I was looking for is we get a number of people that are like, I never played EverQuest. I was too young. I started on retail WoW. And this is my first time playing something like this. Here's one. I'm a 2000s kid, never got to play old MMOs. Started on retail WoW, then Classic. Then I somehow found this gem, and it's been my most anticipated game ever since. Exclamation mark. No need for EQ and nostalgia or anything like that. This game feels unique, and I love both the art direction and the gameplay y'all are going for. Keep up the good work, guys. We appreciate you. I just watched a video earlier today where the guy was just like, when I first came in, I was like, what? There's no map? And then after playing for a while, I absolutely don't want a map ever. No maps in the game. I love it. It's just, I think one of the things that's happened is, there are a number of people that like played EverQuest back in the day, and they really do want, I think something like EQ Legends is great for them. I think there's a segment of like our core that comes out of EQ that really does feel they like a lot of the EQ stuff, but they want a game that is more casual now. I see a lot of comments about I don't have the time that I used to have when I was in my 20s, etc. Right? And that's fine, man. Like I will never ever say anything against that. It's like, but the reality is, I think one of the things that happens when people get a bit touchy about like game design is a lot of people think that they very specifically are the target audience. But the thing is, they've kind of moved past the target audience. And when we were looking at what made classic experiences fun and social and challenging in our mind, there are elements there that the people that maybe even enjoyed those things a lot back then, they don't have the patience for anymore, they don't have the time for anymore, or whatever. Then our focus is back then, that feel back then, and they've drifted outside of that range, but they're like, but I'm the target audience. So if you're not appealing to me, who are you appealing to? And then we've got like these young bucks that are coming in that are, hey, I've never played, and I'm looking for something that has, my dog is squeaking his toy in the background, that has just like a different feel. And we were shooting for the feel. We weren't shooting to just capture people that played. We weren't just shooting to capture people that played MMOs in the early 2000s. We are shooting to create the feel and then push that forward in what we think is the right direction for that feel for anybody that is interested in playing something that feels that way. Does that make sense? If not, it's all good. We may find little Timmy up there may be correct. Like I said, if everybody quits in 3 months, except for like you guys, however many there are in here, and you want to hang out on our little server, then we'll just make it. We'll all hop in voice channels. We'll just be a guild. We'll have our own private server, and we'll keep working on the game. But we think that there are a number of people that will enjoy it. Yeah, October release is set in stone. Hedden said, sent a DM on Discord of my humidor for you. Oh my gosh. Am I going to be so jealous? Okay. I will for sure start, let's start a cigar lounge in the Loving Robot Discord. I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Gardening. Channel. I don't know. How do I just duplicate this channel? Duplicate channel, rename, cigar, lounge. And let me get you guys I guess an invitation. Invite to channel. One day, unlimited uses, don't spam it. I think that's the right way to do it. There you go. Cigar people going there. Because you got to realize that is what I do to blow off steam. That is my meditation. All right, so I'm scrolling back up. Corinthia says, I love no map. It's like not using gas when you drive around, GPS when you drive around, I'm assuming. You use your brain more, 100%. And you learn stuff and you just feel rooted in the world. I felt that way about different vendors. I hated it, but now I low-key enjoy it. Lagwagon said, nice. I was once told that will single-handedly destroy the game if we keep it in. But over time, the team kind of got into it as well. Can't believe you guys even added sense heading. Game was fine without it. Yeah, I mean, it was just something we wanted to put in as a survival skill forever. It wasn't like it was not going to go in. But we had always talked about putting in like different crude maps, but the longer we've gone, the less of a priority it's been. That's me as well. I didn't have the means to play EQ, but this game has its hooks on me and I'm loving it. Mirgom said, nice. Classic Cool said, I've been playing EQL and I end up using the wiki map more than the in-game map anyways, but I prefer no map at all when exploring. And yeah, I mean, when I was playing TLPs and stuff, I'd have brawls, I guess, but I tended to just always have the wiki up anyways because I'm looking up items, I'm looking up quests. There are certain maps that were easier to read on the wiki. John said, found it. This town deserves a better classic criminal, and I'm going to give it to him. From The Dark Knight. That's what it was. Summer said, this game really made me realize how much I looked at the map. Like, even if I knew the area, I would look at the map. No, map is definitely superior. Gassy says, game is good. Yeah, if it's there, you're going to use it. And if you're just staring at it, then maybe you're not just learning the game and learning where stuff is. I don't know. Zach, I asked you a question a while back, and I think you answered, and then I just went off on a ramble. The 50-50 thing, did you answer? It's a class that you're on a fence to play. The 50-50 one, well, I definitely want to play it. I've enjoyed playing Enchanter as well. And where I went kind of 50-50 is like, oh, all right, so if I had to just pick one, would I stick with Inquisitor or go with Enchanter? And I think the reality is it's just, I'll probably do the thing that I usually do where I'll have one guy that, probably like cleric or somebody that tends to be useful, that will be my main sort of grouping, try to get them leveled up and get into high-end content kind of guy. And then, or I don't know, maybe that'll be the enchanter. But then I'll just play the shit out of alts. Our server's going to be down for any period of time prior leading into EA. Probably at least a week. We'll see. Nervrek said, I like no map as well, but will help me learn things like Wormsbane. It will probably make a crude map. I'll learn it better that way. You can find some excellent maps online. What am I supposed to do with myself for a whole week? I self-love. Just a week of self-love in preparation of October 1st. The wiki has some baller maps? Yeah, definitely. Chat Solo's maps are incredible. I think there's some maps by Maggot and other folks up there that are really good. Magnus says, what's up, brother? Great job with new content changes. Looking forward to EA being able to start throwing some money your way. We are looking forward to catching it. Pause. We want to accept your money. Homepage and information in Discord does not say it's set in stone. There should be an update to the homepage and other communications. Hopefully on the 1st of September. Can you do anything solo in this game, or is it all group? I tend to solo most of the time due to real life. You can solo. I've got a couple characters that primarily solo. Duoing is where it's at, though. If you're a solo player, if you can find a couple buddies that tend to be on and you can duo, then it's really that's a solid time. Though I will admit that there are a lot of times I'll log into solo and I'll just wind up duoing, and then somebody else will grab them, and next thing you know, we've got a little group, and it kind of goes. But I understand people that are completely like, I just don't have the time for it. But what I hope is that you get in, you check it out, you think, all right, I'm probably just going to play solo, and you do get in, you solo for a bit, but hopefully then you find, all right, the goal with the game is for it to be social, and hopefully you find some friends, get in a guild or whatever, and even if you are playing solo a lot of the time, you're encouraged to, or you're able to get in and play a couple hours here and there with other people. Like duo trio is just a blast. I've found people are super cool with being in groups for even a short period. We have a 7-month-old, and I need to leave early often. No one's been salty. Yeah, I've had nothing but good, and people don't know who I am when I group. People just aren't, they're not aware of. Right, I'm not going around going, "Hey, it's me." And I've had nothing but good luck with groups. I've had nothing but pleasant experiences with the. Was there an exception of? No, I'm actually thinking of a petition. Yeah. Mr. Nexus says, I joined M&M solo during my first few weeks in EA. I found 4 others, and we bonded over M&M. We're planning on grouping together for EA and staying together. This could never be achieved in WoW or other MMO. I mean, the hope is that it does make it more, I don't know, natural for you to meet people, right? It's a social thing. Do you plan to play a bit of AOA when that comes out? I know the devs there have nothing but good things to say about M&M. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've known Hidden Tree for, I think, as long as there's been an M&M in one form or another. And the guys over there are super good. It's a super like friendly team. They're doing incredibly well. They're very talented. I mean, just the stuff that they post, their website, the game, the way that they update, the way that they run playtests, all of it is super pro. It's super cool. And I would say that what's really been neat is over time seeing them develop AOA as a game that feels like it's its own thing. We all tend to get thrown into this like classic MMO revival bucket. And, the reality is you've got Pantheon's got its own feel and thing going on. EQL's out now. It's very distinctly its own thing. AOA is its own thing. And over time, one of the things that we've seen, and I haven't seen as much lately, but one of the things that we saw in the community was like people kind of going, why aren't you doing this? They're doing that. And it's like, they're doing that because that's the direction they're going in. We're not trying to like run the same path parallel with different graphics or whatever, right? So, when I made stuff like, well, if you think X, Y, and Z are just a better way of doing it in AOA, then you should play AOA. That's not me being snarky, and it's absolutely not me like shit talking that game at all. It's going, that is a different game. And the reality is, and this isn't sarcastic or whatever, if they prove that is the formula, like that is what people like the most, that has the most mass appeal within the classic sort of niche, then God bless them. Like, good for them. They deserve all the success in the world. I don't think people understand. Like, we're not zero sum mindset here. We started this project with just the idea of like, hey, can we make this thing that we think is going to be cool and make it on the cheap and have something that some people might be interested in. And so that's why it's never been a situation where when other games like, when we're talking to the Embers guys, when we were talking about Pantheon, or whatever, here's the pup and his favorite toy ever. Where, you haven't seen us like throw shade at people, whatever. It's not zero sum. If somebody figures out the like secret sauce, awesome. Wish them success. And then hopefully you'll see other teams learn from that. If we do some things right, and other teams do some things right, and somebody can cobble together a successful formula, he is a little Kleekai, little mini husky, then that's awesome. And over the years, I think within, my circles within the industry, I think we went, and I've said this before, from being just kind of this thing that looked like a midlife crisis or some, vaporware thing that's not ever going to be a thing, to being more substantive. And then now, we're going into early access in 5-6 weeks. 6 weeks? 5 weeks and change. We're going into early access. Other games have gone into early access since we started, right? Other games that have gone into early access, and I'm not, this isn't meant to sound negative, but other games that are going into early access, most of them have spent millions of dollars to get into early access. All right, so Stars Reach just went into early access. That's tens of millions of dollars invested in that. You know, what Camelot on Chains in early access. Other games have entered early access. We feel proud because we're entering early access. We're in the same conversation as these other games. And we've taken no backer money. We've had no patrons. We have no investment. We have no publisher. We've spent, if Atomic Frog's in here, you can let us know. We've spent like, I don't know, 160 to, when we go live, 160 to 200K. The team we've been able to do that because the team has volunteered time because they're passionate about it and believe in the game. And we're just doing it because we want to see if we can pull it off. And if we pull it off, maybe that will inspire some other people. There are a lot of unemployed people right now. Atomic Frog said that's about right. We won't hit 200K before EA either. We've tried to be transparent with you guys. We try to provide you all the info we can. We haven't asked for anything. And come EA, we will be asking for you to pay basically for the service. You're paying. We provide customer service. We're providing the servers. We're providing a decent amount of content to get started. It's not everything in the world, obviously. We feel like it's a decent quality. There's enough there to validate $15. And then it's up to you after the first $15 to say, hey, I enjoyed that. It's worth another $15. And then in the third month, if you're still having fun, then it's another $15, right? And that's all we're going to ask for. If you want to buy a t-shirt, mug, prints, whatever, again, you get something for that. There'll absolutely be broken shit. There'll absolutely be things that people can say. Yeah, we've got a banging soundtrack. There'll absolutely be things like criticisms that will be deserved and stuff that we need to fix and bugs that will stick around for longer than they should have and stuff that we probably could have finished if I wasn't talking about cigars and all sorts of shit. But the reality is, for as much as I see the complaints about the industry and as much sort of like shady shit happens in the industry and as much as there's stuff where it's like, I don't know, is the game that much better than ours? But then it's box price and it's subscription or it's Game Pass and it's cosmetics and it's bought power and, like microtransactions, all this other stuff. It's like, all right, I mean, if you want to support a project that is at least trying to do something in as cool, like honorable way as possible, then we're trying to do it. But we just may not be the game for everybody. Nervrek said, the way things are these days, the extreme limitations of online chat medium, my inability to communicate well in a way that others understand, along with finger pointing or whatever motivations, I fear a lot I am misunderstood. For the record, I was not complaining any way to what I said previously. Sincerely, man, when I say I like no map, no ulterior motive or sarcastic talk. Did somebody, because I know that's not aimed at me, you liking no map is music to my ears. Oh, you're talking to Tellin. No, I think you guys are probably just talking past each other or something. If there's any sense of there being a misunderstanding or whatever. You want to buy a big fat M&M hoodie? We will try to ensure that they are the biggest and fattest hoodies on the merch store. store. A physical game with art mixed, game manual with art mixed in. Yeah, we've actually we've researched who can produce boxes and manuals and maps and stuff for us. But as Atomic Frog just said, we've talked about it a lot internally. Won't be for EA, but hopefully down the road, potentially 1.0. Yeah, or during EA. Like, it just depends on how many people are interested in the game. If we truly only have 50 people subscribed in 3 months, then yeah, probably not on the box and cloth map. If we maintain, 10,000, 20,000 subs or whatever this time next year, then we can budget for it. Primus said, "Hey Sean, congrats to you and the team on the big new patch. Dungeons are freaking awesome. Love to hear it." Cool. So it is. We have hit the 2-hour mark. Smustus, Smiley, PLD3, thank you guys for the follows. A little while ago. Sorry I missed them. Please use good quality merch. Don't mind paying extra. Apostate, we're going to start with the best quality print on demand that we can. We've got some samples of it. It's good enough. And then over time, if we see people are buying the merch and it's like, it is just, if we have customers and there's cash coming in from the print on demand merch, then we'll see if we can roll up like better quality. But even the print on demand starting to provide better options, like better screens and stuff like that. It's come a long way. I've got some old samples sitting around here, even some old patches and stickers and hats and T-shirts. Will traits be reworked before EA? I think the hope is to get at least one more pass on traits before EA. I'm getting the bikini briefs with Sean's face on them day one. If you want me to put my face on your bikini briefs, you're going to be paying a ton. But a deal can be arranged. Is that you, Jeff Bezos? Strong dad. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Love the new direction you're taking with Inquisitor. I think there is some balancing that needs to be done around mana, especially a new mana tap, but I love the new mez and I love the class. That's awesome to hear. Yep, we'll continue to balance. Do y'all have plans for changing how Hellers work, leveling pace in EA? Don't mind them as much as I thought I would, but do you feel like they felt more rewarding to finish? Can you clarify what you mean with the last part a bit more? And Zio, Zilla said, glad you're liking it, because Zilla's worked on it. Oh no. There are actually people in the Cigar Lounge channel in my Discord. So I'm gonna have to wrap this stream up as soon as possible. Get to business. It's Saturday night. Marcy said, Shaman feels better than ever. Didn't mind the consume change as much as I was worried I would. Those are all good to hear. That stuff's good to hear because I know, guys, the guys are seeing the feedback. The guys want the best for you. The guys are just very, very slammed trying to get this stuff in for EA. And then hopefully we will have many years together for us to work out our kinks, and get everything like at least where a non-negligible number of you are happy. I'm going to need to start smoking to be accepted in a cool person. You don't have to, dude. They're just pretty. It's just pretty. You don't even have to smoke. Like, it's just pretty. Here, dude. Look at that. It's just pretty. I probably needed to have some sort of disclaimer that I showed that on Twitch or something. Sorry about that. Any tease of Pally rework? No tease, but it is being reworked, and the stuff I've heard so far is cool. AJ Fernandez New World is my favorite at the moment. I will be posting in the Cigar Lounge. The one with the red band. Just because it's a side passion of mine, so I'm sorry that I've got to talk about it, but I get excited about things. Turn that back on. And if you want to hop in there, you can find it here. We set up a channel so that we can talk about it. As Sean said, it's dude potpourri. You're not required to smoke. No, I mean, honestly, I have like old cast-offs of pipe tobacco from incomplete bowls or like cans that just kind of got all dried out that I was like, oh, let me throw it. I've got a few of those sitting around and my stuff to look at, and it just smells good. The humidors are cool, all that stuff. So anyway, super into it. Happy to waste a little bit of time talking about it. The conversation about Inquisitors continued. Z said, if you leave the mana tap, sorry I forgot the name, as is, and remove the cooldown, it would be ideal. Also, the mana tap works great against mobs without mana. Let us empty enemy mana bars again. And then Zillith responded back with, I'll be fixing the ability to use on mobs without mana, but the cooldown is balanced around group mana regen, not the drain portion. For draining, you'll need to use a combination of the mana burn line and pillage. Cool. Yeah, man. So it's we're 2 hours in. Is anybody on the team streaming that would like to get a raid? It's about time for me to cook some dinner. My stomach is growling. Z responded with, that's good to hear. My worry with burn is that it doesn't take enough. Derelict said he can spin it up. All right, you're first to respond. Go ahead. Hey, Esan, sorry I didn't respond earlier, dude. AutoCAD, what's going on? I would love some banana pudding right now. Some nanner pudding. Aaron said, "Hello, caught you live, and you're about to be off." Yeah, I'm sorry. I tend to only like stream 2 to 3 hours, and then I raid somebody and go on. I am not one of those like 4 or 5 hour streamers anymore. I gotta cook some dinner, eat, catch up with the team, get a little bit more work done, and yeah. So, especially these days. Just got off work. Well, hopefully your day of work was good to you. Hopefully you're done for the weekend. Derelict, let me know when you're ready. Marathon streaming is draining. 2-3 hours is definitely my sweet spot too. Hey, Pattis. About 3 minutes. All right. You're very welcome for the stream, guys. It's always nice to see you guys in here. It's exciting. I'll try to hop in again. You know, maybe Monday, Tuesday, something like that, and then Friday, Saturday, depending on how the week goes. Guy Love, you're welcome. Enjoy your weekend as well. See us Anexa. Oh, I appreciate the love. We love you too. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Aaron, G. Willikers, Kraft, you guys. Very welcome. Thanks for being here. See you, class and cool. You guys don't leave, though. Derelict is going to be working on cool stuff. So you can say goodnight, but stick around for the raid, all right? Hey, Rondo. See you. Tsunami-san, Pinamu, Zukin. RNG Tella said, have a great day, Sean. Continue to love what you guys at NWC are doing. Keep up the great work. Thank you. See you, Liz Biscuits. I hope the puppy is okay. See you, McNarf, Talet, Endless Gold. Thank you for the follow. I'm just waiting for Derelict to give me the word. We will raid then. Please stick around until then. Give the other guys your support. Like I said, if you watch the other NWC streams right now, if you watch ZBrush and Zukin and Goblin and Chinny's working on a new dungeon, he's showing that off. Everybody's doing a lot of stuff right now, and you're going to get to see some cool stuff because we're getting a lot of stuff done very fast. So lots going in over the next few weeks. So it's a good time to watch the streams, give them some support. I think I might be the only one who doesn't have subs turned on. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint. Liz said, to be honest, I think the bank balance is hurt more than dog. Fair. That does have a way of happening when there are those types of puppy incidents. But it's worth it. We love our pups. Zenert, thank you for the follow. Search of Sal says, can't wait to see all the new stuff. Can't wait to get everybody in. All right, we're going to raid Derelict now. There's probably some way to do it from like the command line. But I do it old school, so I have to click the various buttons and it obscures the screen and stuff. Wicca said, thank you guys so much for the bank boxes. So happy to see feedback turn into good things. Yeah, I mean, as we can, we'll continue to act on the feedback and ideas. /raid. Oh, let me see if I can do it. Raid. It doesn't need like the @ or whatever. Zukin. Help Grandpa out here. All right. Let's try it. OBS has buttons. I don't touch those buttons. In case it's sensitive. In case it's case sensitive. Okay, let's do it. A raid has been created. Oh, and then it pops up there? Oh, man. That's awesome. All right. You guys hop in. Keep clicking the button. Let's go. It worked. I learned something new today. Perfect. All right. See you guys. See you guys next week. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.